Hello, my name is Egemen Bergen, and let me introduce you the project we've chosen for the engineering ethics class. We've chosen data privacy and security in the digital age. We thought it's a very, very interesting and important topic for 21st century. Let me briefly go through the members of our presentation and the topics they are covering. So we are 7 members, and we are covering um, seven seven different parts of security. So our team member Ravshan Eke covering the very important part engineering responsibility in the data ethics, and Bakhtiar Eke covering the real world cases of security data breaches. And me, again, Birgen, I'm covering the solutions and best practices in security, in data privacy. And then Hondamur Mominov covering the key concepts in privacy and security. And then Ahmedullah Saifullah covering current challenges in privacy and security. And then the Ibrahim John covering why actually data privacy and security matters. The order is a little different, but the content is the same. Then let's start the presentation. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Ibrahim Mohammed Janab. Now I'm going to talk about my part, my topic, which is why data privacy and security matters, ethical importance of data privacy and security. So, in our real life, in our modern world, engineers play a vital role in, for example, designing and maintaining digital systems that collect, store, and how can I say, processing personal data. So they are ethically obligated to ensure the confidentiality, integrity, and availability of this data. So according to ACM Code of Ethics, all engineers should respect privacy and honor confidentiality. This means implementing safeguards to protect users from harm and misuse of information and breaches. So with uh, you know our society is becoming increasingly mm, dependent on digital platforms for communication, for example, finance, health, and more. The potential impact of data breach or misuse grows significantly. So as the systems grow complexity, so do their as system grow in complexity, so their vulnerabilities also. So engineers must anticipate this kind of risks or address these kind of risks actively before it will happen. So, for example, I can say some example for you consequences of poor data. For example, identity theft. Uh, Unauthorized access to, for example, personal data can result in financial loss or emotional distress. And also surveillance also bad consequences. For example, excessive or hidden data collection can infringe on individual privacy rights and freedoms. And third example, for example, is misinformation. Poorly secured or manipulated systems can can spread our false information, leading to societal harm and loss of trust. So there are so many ethical principles. For example, ACM or IEEE Code of Ethics says that respect privacy, or engineers uh, should only use personal information for legitimate ends and protect it from uh, unauthorized access or disclosure. This citation is from ACM Code of Ethics. So guys, this all about personal data, data privacy and security matters. So at the end of my speech, I want to say thanks to our professor, because we are the last year students. We are going to graduate our university. So professors, thank you for you to interesting and attractive lessons teaching us. So we are so grateful. I'm also so grateful, Professor.
Hi everyone. My name is Honamir Muminov, and today I'm going to talk about the key concepts of privacy and security, especially in the context of our digital world. First of all, let me open our presentation. Okay, let's start with data privacy. This is about control, specifically how our personal data is collected, used, and shared. It's centered around the user's rights and consent. For example, if an app collects your location data, privacy means you should be informed about it, and ideally have the option to approve or deny that access. So on the other hand, data security is about protection, keeping that data safe from unauthorized access or changes. So it deals with technical safeguards like encryption, firewalls, and authentication systems. So while privacy is about who can see or use your data, security ensures that no one can steal or tamper with it. So now, what's the main difference between them? The privacy is a user-focused concept. It's about choice and transparency. Security is system-focused. It's about like shielding data from threats. The two work together, but they solve different problems. And ethically, this balance is crucial because engineers must ensure that system respect user privacy while also being secure. It's not just about protecting data, but also about respecting the individuals behind the data. So, in short, privacy is about rights, security is about protection, and responsible engineering needs both. Thank you for the attention.
Assalamu alaikum everyone. I will talk about mainly the real world cases and data privacy and security, and we have real analytical cases. First one was about the Facebook, and in 2016, and Cambridge Analytica collected data from the 7 million Facebook users and without the permission. As a result, this data was used for targeted and political ads, and there are lots of engineering and also problems with this process. And the first one is Facebook designed apps that collect friends data without their agreements. It was the first problem. Second one is a poor monitoring of how outside the companies use this data. It was the main problem of losing personal data. Also, Facebook and advertising the revenue over the user privacy and creating systems and which maximized the data collections while obscuring these practices from users. And the next one is the Equifax, the data breach. It was also problem with data privacy, and from Real Analytical in 2017, the hackers stole personal information of nearly 150 million people from Equifax, including social security numbers and credit card details. There were the personal informations, and there are also engineering problems. The poor network design allowed hackers to move through the systems, and they stole the personal information. Also, the failure to fix security hole for the months. It leads the weak monitoring the missed attack around 3 months and stolen lots of personal data. And also we have like this real world case problem, the India's Aadhaar database leak. And it was happened 2018, the India's national ID systems with over 1 billion people's fingerprints and EU scanners suffered from multiple data leaks. They were stolen from Aadhaar's database. It was also one of the defects of the building, the engineering sides. Also, weak API security, and government websites also published private ID numbers and online. It was a hacking process, and the poor security rules for organizations also using this database. It was not believable anymore after stolen the main personal private IDs. In generally, in all three cases, the companies put profit and spent lots of monies for this process. And first of all, the conclusion, the Facebook collected excessive data to save more IDs. And also each organizations knew the risks, but chose business goals over their ethical duties to protect people's data. As you are real world cases, and that's privacy and security.
Hello everyone, my name is Ahmadullah Saifullah, and I'm a responsible person for the part of the project. It's about engineering responsibility and that in data ethics. First of all, in my case, there are four major part of my presentation. It's about secure by design, data manipulation, transparency and the contest, follow codes and standards. Let's talk about first of all secure by the design. For example, I want to give example Netflix security. It implements comprehensive security by the design approach, where security teams are embedded with the development teams from project inception. They chose engineering practice deliberately introduce a failure to the test system resilience before the occurs in a production. If it comes to data minimization principle, I want to say about the DuckDuckGo's privacy practice. It's one of the example data minimization by not collecting or sharing personal information. The search engine operates without taking users across sessions, demonstrating that effective service can build without extensive data collection. If it comes to transparency and the user context, GitHub data practice provide detailed documentation about what data they collect and how they use it, including the clear explanation of their use of essential and non-essential cookies without straightforward or out mechanisms. And professional codes and the standards implementation. It's one of the it's a specific part of my presentation. Let's talk about one of the big company, Microsoft, have a ACM code ethic application. It's about AI development processing, requiring engineers to consider broader social impacts of their work as outlined. And there are some examples about the Google's AI principle implementing reference E3s and ethically design framework and incorporates a review process aligned with this model. It was all about my part. Thank you for attentions.
Hello, everyone. I'd like to briefly highlight some of the major challenges we face in the area of digital privacy and surveillance. So, first, let's look at China. The country has implemented a massive surveillance infrastructure, particularly under the Sharp Eyes program. For example, in cities like Chongqing, nearly 28,000 cameras are constantly watching the citizens. This includes facial recognition systems that not only track the movements but also encourage people to monitor each other. While it's presented as a tool for public safety, it raises serious concerns about privacy and personal freedom. Next, we have a troubling case from the United States involving Amazon's Ring doorbell system. The Federal Trade Commission found that Ring allowed employees and contractors to access users' private videos without proper consent and safeguards. Even worse, hackers were able to take control of users' devices due to weak security. This highlights how even popular consumer technology can become a threat when the privacy isn't prioritized. Lastly, there is the issue of regulation in Europe. The GDPR provides strong, consistent rules on the data protection, but in the US, laws vary by state, creating confusion and leaving many people without adequate privacy protections. This patchwork system shows the urgent need for unified, comprehensive legislations. In conclusion, whether it's a surveillance by governments, misuse of smart devices, or inconsistent legal protections, digital privacy is under the threat. It's our responsibility as a citizens, professionals, and policymakers to stay informed and push for ethical, secure practices in our increasingly connected world. Thank you.
Now, let's talk about solutions and best practices. So we can start from Apple. Apple implemented such a system that users can choose or not to choose to give their data to the companies. Before using the application, Apple would show a pop-up window, and it will show what accesses do companies get when they use the application, which gives a much more access to users over their own private data. Next is WhatsApp's case, encryption and access control. So this is two-way security, encryption and decryption. So while the user is sending data, it will be encrypted in the first end, A, and decrypted in the second end, B. And from this, from other, just two ends, no one can access the data. Even WhatsApp itself cannot read or encrypt or decrypt the data in between, which gives a much more security to the users that are using the WhatsApp. And a third case is a governmental case where Canadian government has implemented such an AI-based system where it assesses AI-based assessment system where it checks so when federal agencies want to use the private data of users, AI first does assessment on what data they are using. Is it very private? Can they use it or not? And then they get access to the private data of the community or people of that country, and then they can solve the issues with that private data. And then the third case is Mozilla's case, where Mozilla implemented data stewardship, where the engineers must answer to tough questions about data of users they are using or answering. So no user of Mozilla is their data gets leaked or used without any responsibility or without any so engineers will be responsible when they are using, and they need to answer tough questions before they use the data. Let's go to the conclusion. In conclusion, there are many cross cases where we need to solve. So it's not only a technical case or ethical case, but it's interconnected. And if we focus on both of them, we can solve the issues with data privacy and not using the private data of users without notice. And there's an engineer's role as well, where they should protect the data of users and look at the seriously. There need to look up for ethical standards while using the private data. And then there are some ongoing challenges with IoT, with other spheres where data is being used without notice. And with continuous learning, we can solve those issues as well. And this was our presentation. Thank you for spending time. And we hope presentation was good and you got insight from our presentation. Thank you.